Thank you for joining. I see we got Denzel in here. We got Corey, Michael, Samuel, Jan. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Game Fuel Rate My Build live. That's Mountain Dew Game Fuel. Cody, you still got the box in there? Nope. It's
not here. It's somewhere here, but it's not in frame.
Not in frame this time. I got the hoodie on. And we have a special guest today. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. His channel's been growing a lot in the past year, a ton since we talked to you before. ONEREDMIKE, how you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Thank you for inviting me again. Yeah, it's been a crazy year. I remember last time we did this Rate My Build. It wasn't live, it was recorded, but I was below 10,000. I'm about to hit 50,000. So it's crazy. You know, it's really crazy. And I appreciate you guys having me here.
You're hot on our tails, man. And we really appreciate you joining and being a part of this as well. Definitely. So for anybody in chat right now, we do this live. This is live. Like Mike said, last year we did them recorded, but whole new story with the Mountain Dew Game Fuel Rate My Builds. That means that if you guys submit at the link in the description, we can actually pull your build live. So we'll just need you, as you submit, you're going to put in your gamer tag and such. Drop your gamer tags in chat. I'll be paying attention and we'll pull people's builds live. If nobody's talking, we'll just pull some of the people that aren't live. But let's go ahead and get started, you guys. We got this first build here by, I believe it's Mr. Nice One.
Nice one. Can I give a quick preface, Spencer, if people
Preface
see me
all the way.
looking over to this side? Guys in chat, I have to ask you, where are my soccer fans out there? I know there's probably a lot of basketball fans watching, but guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a diehard Chelsea fan. They're in the 18 right now. Champions League game, first one of the year. So I have it on the other screen, but Mike and I are going to be locked in still on the builds. But if you're a soccer fan, let me know down in chat right now. Okay. And I would love to see some other Blues fans if you guys are in there. But enough about soccer. It's basketball time. Mike, you ready to go?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, here we go. So Mr. Nice One, or Nice-u, I hope I pronounced your name right. He's a 99 overall, plays Park and Rec, center 6'9", 194. So I think that's lower on the scale, Mike, with max wingspan. And he said, "Hey, Pacers Gaming, huge fan with R&B content. He's a critic on some builds, likes to agree to disagree. That's what this channel is all about." And he said, "Give a shout out to Filipinas Bravehearts (PBH), an all Filipino NBA 2K community who are also huge fans," and left a Facebook link. So we'll
And
definitely
I
link
got the
that
picture of
too.
him right here.
Oh, look at
Oh, that's
that.
pretty awesome.
That is
Nice.
legit.
That is cool.
I love it. I love it. All in the stage, geared out. You guys are representing. So, Mike, first thoughts on what you see here with this center build?
Well, initially, I like what I see. Minimum weight can be an issue sometimes, but I like the upside of having minimum weight more than I dislike the downside of having minimum weight. So I like that. Personally, for Park and Rec, I would go lower height. That's just my preference. I would go power forward 6'8" or even 6'7". They're way more versatile, but it sounds good so far.
I'm right with you there. I think, we've seen a lot of centers be power forwards just for the badges this year. So it'll be interesting to see how many he gets. So we have 99, like we said, Rich Chad David, love it. Glass cleaning finisher with the glass cleaning takeover. Um, Looks like, is that a blue red?
Yeah, I
I
believe
think
so.
so.
With that 99 dunk and 98 driving, has to be. Yep.
Yeah, and man, so he can bang out 98 driving, 99 standing, like you said, but also can board up. Great vertical. He is fast with that minimum weight, but the strength. What do you think about strength for bigs this year? Do you think that 59 strength could be an issue?
It can be. It definitely can be against some post players, but then again, playing on the post is not meta. I don't see much of a difference as far as boxing out and all that. As long as you have your badges right and you know what you're doing, you should still be fine.
Perfect. And this year, just out of my curiosity, what builds have you been playing, Mike? Are you playing guard this year, lock, big? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm playing guard all day. Me and my team, we pretty much have it set up. We're not no pro team or anything like that, but we play together all the time. So I'm always point guard. But one of my best friends that plays center, we talk about the different badges and things he has, and when he goes through his build setup and all that. So I'm pretty knowledgeable with centers as well.
For sure. Awesome. Well, Spencer, you want to throw us over to finishing, if you don't mind, please? 26 finishing badges, so a lot to work with. We actually, as a teaser, just made a top 5 finishing badges video, Mike, that's going to be dropping later this week, too. And I see a lot of those being used here. So, what do you think? Do you see anything you like or don't like off rip?
Just right now, I tell you, I don't know if I'd change anything. Going back to preferring a smaller build and being a pure defender instead. I think you don't need as many finishing badges to be effective on the post attacking the rim. But hey, he's got them, and he definitely placed them in good areas. I don't see, honestly, just looking right now at it, I don't see anything I would change. I like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if I'm being ultra picky, maybe you throw something on Giant Slayer if you see your matchup is going to be bigger than you in one of those games. Other than that, I think this is outstanding. The Hall of Fames are where they should be.
Yep.
Got to have contact. Lob City and Park and Rec is great. Slithery we know is outstanding this year, and throws a little Showtime in too, which is always good. So well done here, nice one. We'll move over to shooting. I have a feeling he only has one. Mike, is this the go-to for you as well?
There, I guess. I mean, for a center, there's only so much you can do. Maybe if for some reason he put, mid-range shot in there and he's good at it, he could have something else like range extender, or even because it does help on mid-range shots, or even hot zone hunter if he comes to that corner specialist, maybe. But looking at what he has, the way he set up his attributes, I would probably go with slippery off ball as well.
I'm with you. Let us know down in chat. Do you guys as centers use any other badge other than slippery off ball for shooting if you have it? All right, one playmaking as well. I think it could go a number of ways here, but what preference do you have, Mike?
Personally, I'd go with break starter. I can't recall what did we have on his pass rating.
I got you.
Can you check that? Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely go with break starter just since he does have a good passing rating, just to make sure he doesn't throw away passes. But I'm not saying quick first step is a bad option. If he attacks off the triple threat position a lot, it will help, but only in those situations.
I think that's a great analysis there, and I saw a few people answer my question there when someone said, let's see, Dotting said when I play park he uses catch and shoot. Now, do you have how good is your mid-range game? I'm curious, Dotting. And then Denzel said hot zone hunter for him, so that's interesting as well. Two options there. And then last but not least, I have a feeling we're gonna have a lot of defense and rebounding badges, which we do. I like this setup too, Mike. There's one thing I see that's missing for me personally, but what do you think so far, Mike?
Well, there's a few things that right off rip I can tell you I would kind of move around a bit. First of all, you made your center pretty much minimum weight or very close to that. So you want to throw moving truck in there because it will help you against those, heavier players. Moving truck, according to 2K Lab, I believe it was where I saw this, it'll give you boost to your strength, so it's going to kind of counteract, that problem that you have there, which won't really be an important thing most of the time, but it could be. Chase down artist, I would definitely throw that in there, at least in bronze, is another thing I would like. And then I don't know if you guys heard, Heart Crusher is a broken badge. You just gotta have it. You do a good defensive play against the other team, and it'll just it'll make them go cold. It's crazy. So you could lower maybe Worm, and I think Box is more important than Worm personally. Um, but again, it depends on his play style, but those are some of the changes that I would consider.
Awesome. And I think my one addition would probably be interceptor, especially with that max wingspan.
Yep.
If you aren't playing in the lanes, maybe you don't have to have it. But I think the best players in the world always max interceptor at the center position. So if you want to be one of the best and swing and make some defensive plays, interceptor's great. Mike, I love that moving truck take. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about that badge this year, but that's really a unique idea to get strength up if you go with minimum weight. So
Yep.
great insight there from Mike. And I saw a couple questions about submitting your build. Like Spencer said at the beginning of this video, if you guys submit them live right now, the link is in the description. Spencer's going to be pulling builds throughout this video and yours could be chosen. So make sure you get your build submitted right now and you could get it rated live by the man, the myth, the Mike here before the video ends. So,
Speaking of ratings, we're about to rate this one, and Cody named it. I'm in chat right now as the Pacers Gaming handle, so you guys have any questions, I'm the one answering you. And hopefully the audio for those guys is a little louder now. We upped it a little bit, so let us know as they rate this first build.
Cool. Mike, I'll let you have the honors. Go for it, my man. 1 through 10, 10 being best. What do you think?
I'm gonna give this build a 9. Um, and the reason I don't give it a 10 is because the pure defensive pie chart is just better. You get 30 defensive badges, so you'd be able to keep everything you have and then add those things that we talked about on top of that. And then you still get a 90 plus dunk, even though you don't get Hall of Fame finishing. You're a center. You're not really looking for that as much. You're trying to, help your guard out, be defensive. You just dominate the paint. And I believe 30 defensive badges is way more important. And that's why I'm not giving it a 10, but it's a great build. It's well built and it's well thought out for sure.
You're a nice guy, Mike. I appreciate that. And I'm sure the Filipino 2K community is loving you right now for that rating. And, I think this is a good build too. I'm a little bit lower, I think. I'm going to go with an 8. I think some badges can be tweaked around to really maximize the potential of this build. I think going to a power forward could have helped you out with badges. And then, like Mike said, there's no doubt if we're talking meta, pure red is the way to go right now. And even 6'8", I think you could have dabbled there with the height too. So overall, great build. I'm just being tough today just for fun because the score is still 0-0 in the Chelsea game. But yeah, thank you again for submitting your build.
Shout out to that community. And Mike, while I transition us here, why don't you talk a little bit about the community that you're building and what people might expect if they go to your channel by clicking the link in the description?
Yeah, I appreciate the plug. Well, I run a YouTube channel for 2K content, specifically my career content, whether it's Park, Rec, Pro Am, you name it. It's in Spanish, so full disclaimer, it's 100% Spanish. It's I saw the opportunity and the need for the Hispanic community to be served this type of content, so I decided to go Spanish, even though I could have done English. So if you know any Spanish at all, or you just want to check out the channel, go by our community. It's called One Red Fam, and that actually was inspired to me by PG Fam. So we are OR
Hey,
Fam. We have a very
Oh, all
similar
right.
logo. So just shout out to the PG Fam as well out there.
I saw some people in chat too shouting out One Red Fam earlier
Awesome,
when we first
awesome,
got started. So they're
awesome.
here. You guys ready for the second build? We got
let's roll.
context
Yep.
clues.
Here we go. All right, context clues. Interesting name. I like it with a little bit of a different spelling. Another 99 overall, Mike. Park, Rec, and Pro Am. So got to think about that 5-on-5 comp now with this build. Point guard. So I'm guessing it's 6'3". He said 1.93 meters. So hopefully 6'3 or 6'4. Minimum weight, 2 above minimum wingspan. Has base 98 LA release, have close to a 3-point rating of a play shot, and he gets Tomahawk dunk packages, Levine and Kobe and Westbrook dunk packages, gets pro dribble moves, and his build can ISO or use screens. He said his build is not a slasher. So, initial thoughts here, Mike. This is right up your alley for the point guard.
Just based on what he said, it sounds like he's got some sort of BP variation, which are good. They're definitely not as overpowered as they were last year, with the 3-point being less consistent this year. But we'll see. We'll see. How high up he was able to get that 3-point, depending on the wingspan and all that. But it sounds good so far.
Yeah, that's a good point. We know last year, man, those BP builds were insane. This year they've been nerfed a little bit, but still can be very useful. So I'm
Yep.
interested to see what he's got going on here. Shooting takeover, again, point guard 99 overall. Looks like that blue green build. Um, see anything specific that jumps out here, Mike?
Just looking at what he has for driving dunk, I guess he chose the one that has more shooting than finishing, which is nice. Yeah, because you do get a more consistent 3-point. You got to be above 85 at least to be truly consistent as a point guard. Trying to run out of screens and all that. Finishing is good. My only problem is that with that 80 driving dunk, once you go down to 98, if you do, then you all pretty much lost all your animations there, and you got to go and re-equip them when you go back up to 99. and obviously he won't get contact finishing. So
That's a great point. Outstanding. Something definitely to think about if you're making this build. To get those animations, you're going to have to be a 99. So if you're able to reach that level and stay at that level, this is outstanding. But if you're going to fluctuate or maybe not even get to that point, it could drop a little bit in that rating scale that we have too. So awesome. Other thing I'm interested in is to see how many defensive badges he has because his ratings aren't great, and I'm guessing he would probably be guarding in pro-am the secondary ball handler. So we'll see if he has clamps on. I think that's going to be an important badge for him there. All right, Mike, on to finishing. What do you like?
it's good. I mean, the most important thing is their contact finishers, slithery finishers. Their Giant Slayer's good. Based on the fact that he's a pretty short player at 6'3" ish, just a little bit above that. Relentless finisher for me, bronze is enough. It'll help. Um, Consistent finisher, gold. I don't know how much that can be needed, but then again, he doesn't really get contact dunks, although contact finisher will help with those contact layups. But you could also consider something like acrobat, and maybe even fancy footwork instead. Just try to, build out your badge setup based on what things your player can actually do.
For sure. 100% agree. I think if I did have to make a change, it would probably be onto fancy footwork from consistent and relentless or a combination of the two. And then if you're ISOing a lot and you're getting a lot of showtime dunks, Mike, we know how good that badge is as well to get takeover up for your teammates.
Yep.
So if you move those around and find space for showtime, I think that could be productive as well. All righty, on to shooting. I have a feeling, okay, he has 18. That's quite a bit to work with. A few interesting badges here. Let's start with the one that sticks out to me, and that's bronze hot start. What do you think there, Mike?
I wouldn't use it at all. He specified clearly that he plays pro am at 5v5. As soon as you miss your first shot, it's done. This badge is just not going to help you anymore for the rest of the game. And you could have easily put that on Hall of Fame Deadeye, or even consider something like Tireless Shooter, which will help, especially with a player like yours that doesn't have that 93 point, and you're probably a main ball handler just based on how he expressed about his players. So when you get tired, you could lose up to 5 points on your shooting, and that will put you below 85, and you'll be way less consistent. So I would probably just throw it on tireless shooter instead.
Awesome. And I see context clues in chat. What's up, man? Thanks again for submitting your build. Love it so far. Mike, he mentioned that this is his park setup. So
Oh, okay.
I bet he understands, like you said, exactly. The 5-on-5 is tough, but maybe with park, he gets out and gets that start. Hey, that's fun. I think that could be cool. So thank you for that context, Mr. Context Clues. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, Spencer's got us rolling here. Playmaking, floor general, handles for days, quick first step, and unpluckable. He selected to go all on gold with these. And he said park, so we can think a little more toward park. What do you like or not like here, Mike?
I still like Dimer better than Floor General every single time as a main ball handler. It just does more, even if you can't go up to Hall of Fame. The other three though, I don't think I'd change anything about it. It's just fine.
I'm with you. I think I would go Dimer as well. Seems like it would really help your team if you are the main ball handler. And then maybe on unpluckable, could think about a needle threader, could think about a lob city passer if you're throwing a lot of lobs, especially in the 5-on-5 context. So pretty good overall though. Pretty good overall. 12 badges to work with. So let's see, we've gone 16, 8, 12, or was it, yeah, 16, 18, 12, and now 6. So he's pretty diversified
Yep.
here. And there he goes. He's got clamps. He knew I was asking for it. And intimidator and pick dodger. What do you think, Mike?
It's good. It's good. I like Pick Dodger in there. This year is very important, even in park, because as you know, the meta is that play shot. Clamps has to be there. Intimidator. I don't know how effective it really is this year. It's way less than it was last year. I'd consider maybe even interceptor in there instead.
I'm with you. I think those can be interchangeable,
Yep.
and pick dodger in the park, like you said, very useful this year with how good brick wall is. So
Yep.
good setup. Six badges. Hey, you can work with that. I think as long as you have clamps, like Mike said, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. All right. Before I rate, I'll go first this time, Mike, so I don't get to piggyback off of your ideas and your rating. But I want to see what the chat thinks about this build. So if you're in the chat right now, go ahead and drop your rating 1 to 10, 10 being the best, as I choose mine here. So let's see. Park Pro Am Rec 6364. He had really good badge setup. Oh man, I want to look at chat, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna go with an 8.5, Mike. I think this is a good build. I think it could be close to meta. I like the badge setup. I like the Giant Slayer if he's dunking on some bigs. Those dunks if he's a 99. This is an 8.5. It could be a 9 from me. What do you think, Mike?
I think we switched roles on this one a little bit, Cody.
Okay, okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I think a BP you can get like a 16, 16, 16, and 6. I actually have that build in my channel. And it's just playmaking as a main ball handler, 12 badges at playmaking. It's just not doing it for me. Unless this is a secondary ball handler, like a second attack person on a
Mm-hmm.
team, I say 12 is way too low, and that's just as point guard. I can tell you myself that's a problem. Especially not being able to have like Hall of Fame playmaking badges. I do like the setup. There are a few things you could change, but personally, this is if I were to choose a BP, this would not be it. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay. Okay. That's funny because this is similar to the build that I play with my point guard, who is shout out to Let's Ball Up, aka Kyle Rudy, aka the coach of the Knicks. And when I tell you, Mike, that he refuses to put on dimer and he just goes downhill and dunks, he's a left stick beast. So this is what I'm used to playing with right here, Chad. No need for playmaking. Let's just go dunk the ball. So, but good. This fun build, context clues. Thanks again for submitting, and I'm
Yep.
excited to see what else we have here, Spence.
For sure. As we switch to the next build, first off, Jose, does my audio sound any better? He said he could only hear out of one ear, and I can't hear anything. So hopefully you guys can hear me at all right now since I clicked a little checkbox chat. My audio is good now. He just said, all right, perfect. I figured it out. All right, guys, while I switch, we've had a lot of drops about next gen 2K21. Mike, what have you thought about what you've seen so far? And then I think tomorrow we've got some stuff coming about the My Player Builder.
Yeah, it's gonna be the third blog from that series that 2K mentioned they were coming out with. I really like what the physics engine looks like. They've been very thorough explaining everything that's going to be in there and all the changes that are coming, how the players are going to interact better physically with each other and its surroundings, the floor, and all that. Foot placement and all that. That's going to be really awesome. I mean, that's really going to feel next gen. As far as graphics go, you do see an improvement. There were some leaks around there, nothing official, but it looks like the player builder is going to be different. Won't say no more than that. Supposedly tomorrow we might get more information, official information, just to be clear, regarding that. So it's looking good. I'm excited for it. I really am.
I will say, I think I did see some fake leaks out there too. So there's a lot of stuff to look out
Yep.
for. I think
Mhm.
tomorrow we're going to figure it out for sure. And it's
Yep,
going to
yep.
definitely affect this series as well. Rate my build.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
little teaser there. I like it.
All right, guys. Next up, we got Smux. What do you see here?
Smux. All right, our first non-99 Mike here. We have a 94, same as the last player, Park Rec and Pro Am. Another point guard, 6'5", minimum weight, minimum wingspan. And he said his shooting badges are currently set for Park. So for our rating here, we can go off Park thinking. And we can roll on over, Spencer, please, to his attributes. G Blamps. This is a play shot build, it looks like. Mike. Not much finishing there, but can shoot the rock, can make those passes, and I have a feeling he'll have a few defensive badges too.
That's what I see so far. The ball handling seems a little bit. Well, he's not over 95 yet, so yeah, I think he's good. We'll see.
Okay. Finishing badges. Yep, there we go. Only has one. What as a play shot? What would you expect to see here, and what do you think you would put your badge on?
I think that's where I would have it. Either that or maybe something like fancy footwork, depending on the play style, really. But consistent finisher is going to help you on every single finishing attempt, so it's not a bad badge to have.
I like it. I think that's probably where I would go as well. That makes sense. Oh man, another hot start. Let's see here, man. We got Hall of Fame, hot start, difficult shots as well because we're playing in park, and then has some of the big badges we know to be great: Green Machine, Range Extender, Hot Zone Hunter, and Deadeye. What do you think here?
Hot start again. If he's playing park, this is his park setup. It's a good badge. I don't know if I'd go Hall of Fame. Because then again, you're losing 4 points as soon as you miss a shot. And unless you're like a crazy 2K league level player, you're gonna miss shots. So I don't know, you gotta kind of crunch some numbers. If you're shooting like, I don't know, 70% 3 point, then sure, keep it. If you're shooting more about 50% or even lower, I'd leave it at maybe silver because it will help. But then again, you're losing out on 4 points every time you miss a shot during a game. So you could probably use those other two towards bumping up Deadeye or even putting something in there like clutch shooter, which is really good for park as well.
Smux came in
Awesome.
with the defense. He says, if I hit my first shot with hot start in park, I usually shoot 100%.
Wow.
There you
Maybe,
go. See,
maybe,
that
yeah.
maybe he's that good. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
If that meta works for you and you hit that first shot, man, you can roll with that Hall of Fame. I guarantee it. So Smux, if you're confident and you pull up and you hit that first shot, more power to you, my man. This could be the setup for you. Also, Spencer, do I see an All City fam raid too?
That's right. All City Live TV just showed up. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Who in chat would like to see him on an episode of Rate My Build as well?
Ooh, I would like
Great
that.
guy, man. Great guy.
He's made an appearance before. Mike said great guy, so you know he has to be. And we know, so that's three fams. We got the PG fam, we got the One Red fam, and we got the All City Live
Oh
fam.
man.
So, man, we're a big family here. Just out here rating builds on a Tuesday afternoon for you guys. Um, Next up, Spencer, if you don't mind, we're going to go playmaking, another big category for this play shot. There's the dimer we were looking for last time, but he also has floor general and lob city. Man, this looks like the setup I was talking about last time. Other than needle threader, would you keep this the same though, or do you think you would throw any badges elsewhere?
I would probably get needle threader in there for sure. I mean, in park, it's not really that big of an issue as it is in 5v5. But it looks good. Personally, I never run Dimer and Floor General. Both of them at Hall of Fame. It has its benefits. Um, but unless you have like a specific, player with you on the floor that needs to get to a specific attribute level to be more consistent and you plan for it, then that's fine. But if not, I'd probably take that out and just keep Dimer and kind of play around and get maybe bailout in there. Get as you mentioned, which was it that you just mentioned? It
Needle
completely skipped my
threader.
mind. Needle threader. Needle
Mhm.
threader. But again, needle threader for me is more important at 5v5.
And the great thing about this being live, Smux came in and says, sometimes my buddy runs floor general and I put on ankle breaker for fun.
Ah, cool. Cool.
There we
It's
go.
good. It works now. It actually works.
Yeah, that patch was definitely helpful
Oh
for
yeah.
the dribble heads out there. So Smux, I'm sure you're happy to have those ankles back and you can steal them and break them from your opponents in the park. All right, last but not least, I'm curious to see how many. Okay, so 10 currently has 8 badges earned on the defensive side. Clamps, Interceptor, Intimidator, and Pick Dodger. If we're thinking Park here, in your mind, is he missing anything? Or do you have any recommendations for his next two badges, Mike?
I definitely bump up Pick Dodger unless he plays with a lock. And the lock is taking care of defense on the pick and roll, which is 99% of offensive setups. So other than that, I don't see anything else that I would change. He does have Interceptor in there. Intimidator at gold is fine. But again, I would probably, instead of Intimidator at gold, I'd go Pick Dodger at gold. Then again, unless he has someone doing that defense part for him.
Love it. I think that's spot on. We're in agreement there, Mike. With that said, it's
He's
your
got two
turn
more though.
here. Yeah,
Got
still
two more
has two
points.
more.
Yep.
Still has two more, like you said. We'll definitely be able to max it out soon. He's grinding very close with that 94 overall. First, before I do throw it to Mike, let us know in chat what you guys would rate this build, a play shot point guard. And Mike, what do you think? As everybody else is rating, I'll let you go first.
This again, this is the meta right now. Playmaking shot creators. If you don't have one, you're at a disadvantage. There's no other point guard out there that will be as effective offensively. So this is an automatic 8. But just looking at his setup and all that, he did create this build the correct way. I don't know what his speed is going to look like because I don't know if he has the boost already for speed and acceleration for Gym Rat or the Gatorade boost. Um, but either way, I'm going to give this build just off rip, off what we see, 8.5.
All right, I see in chat, I'm cheating a little bit here. We had a 6976 come through, so a little all over the place, Mike. I'm a little stunned here.
All City with the rating. He gave it a 9.
There's the 9. Context clues, our last build gave it a 9 as well. You know, Mike, I'm going to be vanilla here. I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to go with you on this. 8.5. I feel like we are in sync on this build. I think you made a lot of great points. I trust you as a point guard, and I'm with you. It's meta. He has a good badge setup, and we'll see what it looks like when he maxes out his build. Could even go up to a 9 or above. Especially, man, that hot start's fun too. If he hits
Great
100% of
defense
his
too.
great defense too, like you said, plenty of badges. And if he's shooting 100% from the field in the park, hey, that's a 10 out of 10. I don't care who you are. So shout out to you, Smucks. Love this build. Good stuff, my man.
Instant win for sure. Hey, so we got a couple things in chat. First, Mr. Game Winner says, appreciate Pacers Gaming for the great content. As always, we appreciate you and everyone in here right now for always tuning in and showing up. We just try to provide as much value to you guys as possible, whether it's you're a beginner or you've played the game for a long time. Cody, earlier we had a question come in from Dotting. They said, would you guys rate a build that doesn't have any badges? What do you think about that if you saw one here on Rate My Build?
Yeah, I think we totally would, man. And I want to say we've done that in the past. Maybe in the first edition, 2K19 of Rate My Build, we did a few like that where people would submit builds that they had created or were using in the My Player editor to consider creating and wanted our pro player advice. And I think that would be fun. Mike, would you enjoy doing something like that too? Helping out someone who's, looking into maybe creating a build?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's part of the job, as I like to say. As content creators, you want to be able to help the community as much as you can. So for sure.
Very cool.
Definitely. I mean, a part of this is rating the potential of the build that we see.
Right.
For sure.
Right. So next up, we've got Michael. He's in chat as well.
Michael with an X there, 97. He plays everything as well. Power forward, 6'7". Oh man, big body at 271. I had to double check my eyesight there. Max wingspan. He didn't want to give us any other details on his animations or jump shot. So we're shooting in the dark right here, Mike. We're gonna have to guess. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this is gonna be a post score, right? Does it have to be with that weight?
Well, it depends. Some people kind of fall in love with archetype names, and if you're doing a power forward at 6'7", you have to go max weight to get a paint beast archetype name. If not, you're gonna get a glass cleaning finisher. So it could be that as well.
Okay, let's see. I'm
Drum
I'm
roll, please.
intrigued. I'm
Oh, a
intrigued.
little small. We gotta zoom in. There
Perimeter
you go.
defender.
Perimeter defender. Okay. So 97. What do you think his pie chart
Oh,
was
this is a
here?
shooting defending build, I think.
It's a green red pie chart.
Yeah, it is with that 74-3 for sure.
Now, what do you think about shooting threes in 2K21, Mike? What's serviceable? Is a 74 going to be serviceable?
I've seen people be consistent with it. If you have your hot zones and you have your badges right and you have your teammates with timer or general, I've seen people be consistent, but it's a very low percentage of people out there that are able to be consistent with a 74 3-point. Sure.
I think his badges in the shooting category are going to be crucial. If he has those spot on, has that hot zone hunter maxed, maybe with a corner specialist if he's playing pro am, this could be an interesting build. A big body to if he gets that takeover, that's scary too. If he's swinging out of the corner or even guarding pick and roll, maybe. Do you think he's fast enough, Mike, in 5-on-5 to guard pick and roll?
Um, with that 271, I mean 74 speed. If you're playing meta, there's a lot of big centers out there, but again, at pro-am level, there's probably bigger centers out there that will dominate the paint more. So I don't know if you're using this sort of build for meta pro-am.
Interesting. All right, let's check out these badges. First up, we have finishing as always. Similar to what we've seen across a lot of builds today, consistent contact and relentless. He has 8 total to work with. Any changes here from you?
It's a weird thing because this is a shooting defender pie chart. So you're not doing a whole lot of finishing, although he in theory should get standing contact dunks. And just based off of that and his height, I would probably prefer Giant Slayer because it's hard to get, standing contact dunks, especially when you have bigger players down there. So instead of consistent finisher, or maybe even lower that to bronze, relentless to bronze, and then put in Giant Slayer in there.
Love that. I think too, depending on his point guard, if he's playing out of the corner and 5-on-5 and getting a lot of back doors, Lob City maybe a little bit up, even a bronze to get those animations could help. I saw quite a few people, Mike, talking about the speed, and he could potentially be able to hedge. So I think Joshua said 85 laterals, he can hedge easily. All City was talking about 6'7", and the speed is so low. So that's interesting. Looks like we have a debate in chat, and we'll see on his defensive badges.
Keep in
Uh,
mind, the same way speed with ball is calculated by speed and ball handle, it is my personal theory. I can't confirm that your actual lateral quickness is a balance between your speed and your lateral quickness attribute. That's just what I think. I could be wrong. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I think the badge setup is going to tell us a lot about the play style here because you didn't let us know any of your animations or where he plays. That would be some fun context to have, but we get to use our imagination now, Mike. All right. Catch and shoot corner specialist. So he's playing out of the corner, flexible release silver, and range extender Hall of Fame. No hot zone hunter, no green machine. What do you think?
Well, just off rip, if he doesn't have hot zone hunter, that can only mean one thing: that he doesn't have hot zones. So he's not going to use it because he doesn't actually have those hot zones. So I mean, it looks like he's got a corner build, but for some reason it has range extender. Range extender will help out of the corner on mid range shots, but it won't on threes. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Agreed. I think silver would be fine with this build on range extender. And then I think you got to work on those hot zones, my man, because as we've seen in 2K21, they are huge. Check out the NBA 2K Lab videos to learn more about hot zones this year. But that badge can increase your shooting percentage by upwards of 10% automatically just by having it on. So work on those hot zones. That would be my biggest recommendation, no doubt. All right, playmaking. Have a feeling not going to be many badges here. We have one. It's that quick first step again, Mike.
Yeah, it's again, if you attack the rim a lot off of a triple threat position, it will help. Other than that, you probably want to go with break starter instead, unless you're just solely a park player. Then you can even consider something like unpluckable if you're getting stripped a lot out, after rebounds. But quick first step for that type of player, I don't see it.
I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on that one. And then here we're going to have quite a few badges to work with. Let's see. So clamps on Hall of Fame
Hmm.
with this build. That makes me think he definitely has to be in the pick and roll, right? But post move lockdown too, and off ball pest. This is interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. Just by looking at badges, I'm not sure. I guess he's all over the place.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
So let's say if he is guarding pick and roll, what would you change?
Well, post move lockdown, you got that 270 weight. You're already a big body down there as far as weight goes. You probably go lower on that. And unless you play twos, almost nobody plays with the post hook unless you play twos or 1v1. It's just not meta. You win with defense and with 3 pointers. That's just the way it is. So I don't worry a lot about post move lockdown at all. I wouldn't even have it, honestly.
I'm with you. I think off ball pest is interesting too. If you're a lockdown, you got to find a way to get interceptor on there. I think um, chase down on bronze just to get the animations, especially if you're playing in the pick and roll, is much needed. This is interesting. And has rebound chaser on Hall of Fame. Maybe it feels like a tweener build, Mike. Feels like we're trying to do too much.
Yep.
And like what I always say in these Rate My Build episodes is I like specialties. I like
Yep.
knowing who you are and being able to execute at the highest level possible. That's a personal preference, but something I like to stick by in 2K21 for sure. All right, chat, let us know on Michael's build. This is unique. If you're just joining us, 271 weight, big body, 6'7" power forward playing out of the corner. Let me know 1 through 10 um, what you guys would rate this. And I'll give you a minute or two before I say my rating. Or Mike, you want to go first or you want me to go first on this last build?
Sure. I pretty much have my mind made up.
Go for it.
I like specialty. Being able to specialize your build is so important. The only exception to that was play locks on 2K20, and there are no more on 2K21. BPs are jack of all trades offensively. This build is an attempt to a jack of all trades, but it's a master of none, as they say. I just don't see it. The badge setup is all over the place. I'm gonna give this build a 6.5.
I think that's being generous too, Mike. Is that being
Yeah,
generous? Are you being nice today?
little bit.
Hey, I don't blame you. He doesn't come on the channel much, so I understand why he's going 6.5 there. I'm gonna give it a 5. I think it's right there in the middle for me, like Mike said. It's fun to try something different, but if we're trying to be competitive and elite, this build might struggle a little bit. Some of the badges definitely needed to be changed around depending on what you want to specialize in, Michael. But I think it could be a fun build, maybe just not at the highest competitive level.
We're 100%.
All right, guys, we're gonna do speed round one more. I did promise chat. Okay, so while we
Cool.
bring
Sounds
it
good.
up, one thing that everyone needs to know in chat is you can still submit builds for these live episodes. There's a link in the description of this video. Click it now, or click it after the stream, or click it once we upload the VOD of this stream. and you guys can upload your builds as well. And I'm going to show everyone the build here before we start talking about it. When you go to upload, there's a few questions we ask you to fill out. We love it if you give us some extra details, whether it's jump shot, dribble animations, etc. And then we'll have you upload some pictures also to the Mountain Dew Game Fuel Rate My Build Live submission form. Reminder, link in the description for that. All right, guys, we'll do a little speed round, try to get through maybe 5 minutes or so and have everyone rate this build. We got ISO mentality.
Sounds good. And by the way, Team Berry Blast. Mike, have you tried Game Fuel yet?
I have not. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right, I'm telling you, man, it is delicious. Blue is the best. If you watched our first episode, you saw I had my pack right here. So Berry Blast, if you guys are trying that Game Fuel. Okay.
Or
Anyway,
sugar-free watermelon. Sugar-free
see, he likes the
watermelon.
sugar-free. No. Come on. We got to get into it. It's that Berry Blast all day. Okay. ISO mentality 99 park, small forward 6'7, 227. So a little bit on the head, or that might be right in the middle, I think, for a small forward 6'7. Minimum wingspan, though. Uses Curry, one of the best jump shots in the game, 138 and 152. That's unique for releases. Use dribble style power, moving cross Pro 6, Pro 3 behind the back, has these Pro 5, Chris Paul size up, basic size up Pro, size up escape Pro 5. Mike, anything you don't like there or any changes you would make?
Not really. I like the dribblings. I've tried all of them. They're not my favorite for sure, but then again, this is a small forward. So it's a different build. I get why he would probably try to switch it up a bit.
And I'm
Guys,
dying laughing at chat.
Is
Yes.
this 2K, the other 2K? Are we wrestling here?
This WWE.
That's what chat's going for. Is this WWE?
Hey, this guy is locked with those gloves and the beard. He looks like a wrestler, doesn't he?
For sure.
That's pretty good. Let's see who called that out first. Mr. Game Winner. Well done, my friend.
Mr. Game Winner, that's all
good.
you. That's not my joke.
All right, here we go. Hunter. Let's see. Pretty balanced here. Ball handle is very high at a 90. Dunks are low though, Mike, at least standing, but 72. With a 78 3-point shot. What do you think?
This was similar to my favorite build on 2K20. Pure playmakers. Looks like this is a pure playmaker at small forward. It was my favorite build last year. They were so overpowered. I mean, you could get contact dunks, hit 3-pointers consistently, break ankles, defend, be the fastest player on the floor. They were ridiculous at 99.9. This year, they just nerfed the heck out of them, and I didn't even try one. I'm just not a fan of pure playmakers this year. It's a very specific type of player that will go for this builds. Just off rip, I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing.
All right, let's continue here. Speed round. Consistent and slithery. 2 good badges, we know. Any changes there in your mind? I like it. He's not getting contacts.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't have contact dunk, so I think this is a good setup for 5 badges for sure for
All
his
right,
style.
perfect. I believe he had a 78 3-pointer, so 13 badges here. Can't get Hall of Fame shooting though. Clutch shooter, haven't seen that badge in a long time.
ISO says 47% from 3 in the park.
Wow. Okay. So he can still shoot. ISO, are you the main ball handler? Let me know. Or do you play out of the corner? Let us know down in chat. Mike, what do you see here?
Um, I mean, if he's shooting 47% with a 78 3-point, he's pretty good at shooting in general. So, but as a point guard, well, as a point forward, as a ball handler, I'm assuming that he's a main ball handler based off being a pure playmaker. I would definitely throw Deadeye in there, even if it's just like silver. You're gonna be shooting a lot of threes or mid-range shots with some level of contest on those shots. So I would probably stay away from clutch shooter in those cases. Catch and shoot is just it's a good badge to have, but again, as a main ball handler, how often are you shooting off the catch and shoot position?
ISO did confirm he's main ball handler. Usually plays with 2 lock shooters on park mostly.
Okay, good to know there. Let's see. Here's the bread and butter of this build. 27 playmaking badges. Had that 90 um, ball handling. Man, I don't think I've seen flashy passer with Hall of Fame there, and it says "Wow" with the badge. I usually don't see that sticking out, but that is fun to see. A lot of badges to work with here, Mike.
Flashy passer is pretty good if you have that many badges. It's just like Showtime, you know. It'll give a boost on takeover, so it helps. I can tell that he's very team oriented. He's looking for a lot of assists just by having all those three together. Bailout Hall of Fame, I don't know how much you really need that. You could probably go instead. You could probably go with even tight handles, which helps a little bit this year. Go with as a pure playmaker. If you don't find a shot, you probably have a smaller person defending you. You can take that person to the post and do a post spin. So post spin technician will help. I used to love that on my pure playmaker. And then needle threader should probably be there as a main ball handler as well.
I'm with you there, and we can remember flashy passer does help increase teammate takeover too, so that's fun to have. Hall of Fame might be a little bit too high in my personal opinion, but I like exactly what Mike said. Downhill too, if you're getting out on the break quite a bit and really rim running, that could be an interesting badge to play with too. But like it, ISO. Let's check out his defensive badges. 8 to work with. He said he plays with 2 lock shooters, Mike. So I'm guessing he's guarding corner, but still has those clamps on for the park, pick dodger, and pickpocket.
It's interesting. I mean, if you're running most of the time with two locks, I don't see why you would need pick dodger. There's a very low chance that all three players are going to be ball handlers on the pick and roll, so you're not going to be able to have the opportunity to defend a pick and roll as far as the ball defender. So I would probably go with interceptor instead, or intimidator is another option.
That's what I think too. I have a feeling he's going to be swinging out of the corner more often than not. Both those badges would probably make a bigger impact than pickpocket or pick dodger, in my personal opinion. So, um, awesome.
Last 2
Cool.
bits of info from ISO. He says 1 flashy pass gives my teammate half takeover. And he
Wow.
says, I guard the 2. I play with a lock shooter as a power forward.
Guard the 2, plays with a lock shooter as power forward. Okay. Okay. All right. Chat, last build of the day. That was a speed round. I want to see everybody in chat, if you're watching this right now, to drop a rating. Influence me. I want you to influence me higher or lower. I have something in my mind, and if you guys can change it right now. Mike, I'm going to let you go first because you said you kind of knew what this build was off rip, and I have a feeling you have a good idea as well.
Yeah, just based on what we're looking at. Again, this build in 2K20, it's a whole different, subject. But in 2K21, in the right hands, it's really good. But I want to just emphasize on that. It's got to be on the right hands. On most players, they're not going to do well with this build. And we got to talk potential at a general level for everyone out there. So I'm going to give this a 7.
All right. It looks like 7 was the most popular rating. You know, because it's a little different and because of his teammate setup, it sounds like he's running with 2 guys he knows really well. I like that extra playmaking, the flashy passes. He's thought about the flashy passer. So I'm going to bump it up to a 7.5 to end today. But I think that's right about the area, off meta. But like Mike said, you can definitely be effective if you know what you're doing. And I have a feeling you do, ISO. So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, and we'll give you a 7.5.
Hey, we appreciate everyone who joined this Mountain Dew Game Fuel Rate My Build live. Thank you, ONEREDMIKE. Link in description. You guys can go check out his channel. Thanks for joining us, man.
Appreciate you having me here.
And just to shout out some folks who were rating that last build, we got Jose, Travion, Anthony, Mike, London Smucks, we rated one of his build. I think he already submitted a second build as well for the next episode. Dried Ocean, we've definitely rated some of your builds before. AK the Pharaoh was shouting out the All City fam. Everybody is in here. Speaking of All City Live TV, he's in here as well. Says he appreciates us, and of course we appreciate all of you guys as well. Make sure y'all tune in for the next Mountain Dew Game Fuel Rate My Build live. It'll be coming soon. In the meantime, y'all can submit your builds. The link is in the description down below. I showed you just a couple questions, a couple images of your builds so that we have all the information in front of us that we can rate. Thanks, Cody. Thank you, Mike. Where can everyone find you again, Mike?
Yep, you can find me anywhere, really. I'm pretty much in all social media, YouTube, Twitch, ONEREDMIKE, exactly like that. ONEREDMIKE, the word, not the number. And I just want to quickly send a quick shout out to all the OneRed fam, if you're still out there, the PG fam, and the All City fam, of course. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
All the fams, we love all you guys. Thanks for tuning in this time, and we'll see you in the next one.